It's something we probably don't think about much, but so much of our world is, well, stuck together really strongly.
Right.
I mean, everything from our phones and gadgets to massive structures like skyscrapers, airplanes. There's this hidden world of super powerful bonds making it all work.
Definitely. It's not your average household glue.
Exactly. We're talking about structural adhesives. These are the real workhorses, bonding materials like metals, plastics, wood, composites, and under serious load-bearing conditions.
You have to be tough. Engineered to handle big forces,
Mhm.
vibrations, temperature swings. It's pretty impressive stuff.
It really is kind of mind-blowing, and that's why we wanted to really dig into it today. We've got this comprehensive market report.
Yeah, and our goal is to unpack it, understand the current market,
Yeah.
where structural adhesives stand right now, and maybe more importantly, where things are heading. Get the key insights.
Okay, so for this deep dive into sticky stuff,
Yeah.
what's the game plan?
Well, we'll look at the current global market size, the growth
Let's see
predictions.
where it's going.
Exactly. And what's driving that growth? Are there any roadblocks, emerging trends? And then we'll break it down by region, see where the action is.
Sounds good. Let's start with that big picture then. What are the headline numbers?
Okay, so for 2025, the global market is estimated at USD 415.5 million. So pretty substantial.
14 billion. Wow.
Yeah, but the really interesting part is the forecast. By 2033, it's projected to hit USD 257.35 million.
Okay, so significant growth there.
Definitely. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of 6.00% between 2025 and 2033. It's a steady upward trend.
6% CAGR, that's solid. What's the main thing pushing that number up?
A really key factor the report highlights is the growing demand for adhesives that aren't just strong, but also sustainable, non-hazardous.
Ah, the green push. Makes sense.
Exactly. This global focus on eco-friendly solutions is expected to be a major driver for sales moving forward. It's not just if it sticks, but how it sticks, responsibly speaking.
Right. That seems to be hitting every industry now. So, okay, where is this happening? Geographically, who's leading the charge right now?
Well, North America actually holds the largest share currently, over 40% of the market in 2025.
40%. Okay.
Yeah, that translates to a market size of USD 259.74 million. Their projected CGR, though, is a bit more moderate, 4.5% through 2033.
Interesting. Largest share, but not the fastest growth. Why is North America so dominant right now?
It seems to be a combination of things.
Yeah.
A strong automotive sector, especially with the U.S. being a major producer and exporter of EVs.
Right. EVs use a lot of adhesives.
They do. And also a healthy construction industry. Plus, in Canada, you've got government spending on infrastructure and a growing aircraft sector.
Gotcha. Any specific numbers for those countries?
Yep. For 2025, the U.S. market is pegged at USD 449.93 million, growing at 4.3%. Canada's at USD 631.17 million, faster growth there at 5.3%. And Mexico, USD 478.64 million, growing at 5.0%.
Okay, so North America is the big player now. What about Europe? How do they fit in?
Europe's also very significant. They hold over 30% of the market share in 2025.
Okay.
That's a market size of USD 422.50 million.
Yeah.
And their growth is projected at 5.1% CAGR.
Similar growth rate to North America, roughly? What's driving it there?
Similar themes, really. Technological advancements in adhesives themselves, plus that strong push towards eco-friendly options. Green adhesives are big there, too.
Are certain countries leading the way in Europe?
Well, the UK, for instance, has a 2025 market of about USD 692.58 million and a pretty strong CAGR of 5.9%. They're benefiting from those tech leaps in green adoption. And Germany, even bigger market size, USD 816.25 million in 2025, growing at 5.3%. Their automotive industry's shift to EVs and sustainable production is a huge factor.
Makes sense.
And the report also details others, France, Italy, Russia, Spain, the Nordics, Switzerland, all contributing with their own specific numbers and growth rates.
Right. So North America and Europe are the established leaders. Let's shift focus now. Asia Pacific, what's the picture there?
Ah, APAC. This is where the growth story gets really exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. While they hold around 23% market share in 2025, that's about USD 411.72 million. They have the fastest projected growth by far, a CAGR of 8.7%.
Wow, 8.7. That's significantly higher than the global average. What's fueling that acceleration in Asia Pacific?
It's kind of a perfect storm, in a good way. Strong domestic demand within these countries, plus relatively inexpensive labor, makes it a very attractive manufacturing base.
Right.
China is a huge part of it, obviously. Rapid industrialization, urbanization. Their 2025 market is about USD 432.92 million, growing at 8.2%.
Okay.
But India is also really notable. Their construction and auto industries are booming, leading to an incredible CGR forecast of 10.6%.
10.6? That's impressive.
It really is. Their 2025 market size is around USD 341.17 million. And then you've got Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, Southeast Asia, all contributing significantly to this dynamic growth picture. It's a very active region.
That really paints a picture of rapid development. Okay, what about the other regions? Can we briefly touch on South America, the Middle East, Africa?
Sure. South America holds just over 5% of the market in 2025, about USD 540 million,
Yeah.
with a solid CAGR of 6.7%.
Okay.
Brazil's a key player there. Construction and automotive driving demand, their CAGR is 7.3%. And Argentina, with expanding industry and infrastructure, is growing even faster at 7.6%. Then there's Colombia, Peru, Chile.
Got it. And the Middle East?
The Middle East is around 2% market share, roughly USD 568 million to 2025, but growing quite fast too, 7.3% CAGR.
Interesting.
Yeah, lots of development and infrastructure work, like in Qatar, they're at 6.8% CAGR. And Turkey's seeing strong demand from automotive and construction, growing at 7.9%. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt are also mentioned.
Okay. And Africa?
Africa holds the smallest share, around 1%, which is about USD 312 million in 2025. Their growth is projected at 6.3% CAGR.
Still decent growth.
Yeah. Nigeria sees growth from industrial expansion and government efforts, about 6.5% at CAGR. And South Africa, with infrastructure projects and car manufacturing, is growing at 7.2%. The rest of Africa contributes too, of course.
It's fascinating how the drivers and growth rates vary so much region by region. Okay, so we've got the global picture and a regional breakdown. Let's dig into what is fueling this overall expansion. We mentioned green adhesives earlier.
Yes, that's a huge one. The demand for low VOC adhesives, those are volatile organic compounds, things you don't want released into the air.
Right, the environmental and health concerns.
Exactly. So that demand is pushing innovation.
Right.
The report highlights bio-derived adhesives, things made from cellulose, lignin, starch, vegetable oils, even proteins.
You mentioned potato starch.
Yeah, potato starch being used to make polyurethane adhesives.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible, the kind of innovation happening there.
That really is remarkable. What other major growth drivers are there?
The aerospace industry is another big one. They're always looking to make planes lighter, right? Reduces fuel consumption, lowers costs. So structural adhesives help them do that. They can replace heavier fasteners like rivets, bond aircraft skins, build lightweight honeycomb structures for wings and control surfaces. They need high performance, temperature resistance, strength. Adhesives deliver that.
Makes perfect sense. Lighter planes are better planes. What else is pushing growth?
Well, just general economic development in emerging economies, all that urbanization and industrialization we talked about, especially in APAC.
Right.
And related to that, big investments globally in infrastructure, bridges, buildings, transportation networks. They all need high-performance bonding for materials like composites, steel, concrete. Adhesives enhance the structural integrity, sometimes simplifying construction too.
And I guess the automotive sector, beyond just North America, is a massive global driver too.
Oh, absolutely. Huge. The push for lightweight cars to improve fuel economy and meet emissions targets is relentless.
So they're swapping out metal fasteners for adhesives.
Increasingly, yes. It lets them use lighter materials like composites, aluminum, plastics. Plus, for EVs, adhesives are critical for battery assembly and managing heat thermal management.
So adhesives are really enabling technologies in many ways. Holding things together, yes, but also allowing for lighter, more efficient designs. Are there any clouds on the horizon? Any restraints mentioned?
The main one flagged is actually related to the green trend, those stringent environmental regulations.
Ah, the flip side of the coin.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Limiting VOCs and hazardous substances is good, obviously, but it can increase manufacturing costs and complexity for adhesive makers. It might even restrict the availability of certain high-performance formulas while they develop alternatives.
So it's a challenge for the industry to keep innovating within those stricter environmental boundaries.
Exactly. Balancing performance, cost, and sustainability. It's a constant juggling act.
Okay, that makes sense. So looking forward, what are the big trends shaping the market?
Well, we've hit on a couple already, that rising investment in infrastructure globally and the ongoing demand for lightweight, low-carbon vehicles. Those are major continuing trends.
Right.
But the report specifically calls out wind energy as the fastest growing segment for structural adhesives.
Wind energy, faster than automotive or construction. That's interesting. Why wind?
Think about those massive wind turbine blades.
Yeah.
They have to be incredibly strong, but also as light as possible for efficiency.
Right, they're huge.
And they operate in tough conditions.
Mhm.
Structural adhesives are essential for bonding the composite materials used to make those blades, ensuring they last and perform well. They're also used in maintenance. So as the world pushes for more renewable energy.
Demand for wind turbines goes up, and so does demand for the adhesives that hold them together.
Precisely. It's a really clear link between material science and broader energy goals.
That's a great example. Okay, let's talk about the adhesives themselves. The report mentioned epoxy and polyurethane specifically.
Yes. Epoxy adhesives are currently the dominant type. They hold the biggest market share.
Why is that?
It's mainly down to their excellent strength, durability, and versatility. They bond well to lots of different materials. Metals, composites, plastics. So you see them used everywhere. Construction, automotive, aerospace, and like we just said, wind energy.
Okay, so they're the established leader.
Right. They offer great bonding, good chemical and heat resistance, strong mechanical properties, ideal for tough jobs.
But you said polyurethane is the fastest growing.
That's right. Polyurethanes are gaining ground quickly.
What's driving their growth?
They're also very versatile, bonding well to plastics, metals, composites, but they also offer good flexibility and impact resistance, which is really valuable in cars and buildings.
Ah, so different properties.
Yeah, and crucially, there's a lot of development in low VOC polyurethane adhesives. That aligns perfectly with the sustainability trend we talked about.
Got it. So their versatility plus their improving environmental profile is making them grow fast.
Exactly.
Okay, so epoxy leads, polyurethane is catching up fast. What about the industries using these adhesives, the end-use sectors?
Currently, building and construction is the largest end-use market.
Makes sense, given the scale.
Yeah, huge range of applications. Bonding structural elements, concrete, steel, wood, other materials. They add strength, durability, and can even help with energy efficiency in buildings.
And based on what you said earlier, I'm guessing wind energy is the fastest growing end-use sector.
You got it. Absolutely the fastest growing.
Yeah.
That global push for renewables means more wind turbines, and adhesives are just fundamental to making them work well and last long. Strong, lightweight bonding is key.
It really is amazing how these chemical solutions underpin such massive technologies. Okay, finally, let's touch on the companies making all this happen. What's the competitive scene like?
It's described as highly competitive. You've got major global players, names like Henkel, Sika, 3M, H.B. Fuller.
The big chemical companies.
Right. And they're investing heavily in R&D, developing new products all the time. Yeah. But the growing demand is also attracting newer, maybe smaller emerging companies into the space. So it's quite dynamic.
Did the report mention any specific activities, like investments or new facilities?
Yes, a couple of examples. Henkel expanded a facility in Salisbury, North Carolina, back in December 2022. They added production for UV hot melt adhesives, apparently their first large-scale unit for that tech outside Europe.
Okay.
And in May 2021, Henkel also announced a big investment in a new adhesive technologies innovation center in Shanghai, aimed at boosting innovation and service, especially for China and the wider APAC region.
So definite signs of investment and strategic moves by the big players.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try to wrap this up. If we boil it all down, what are the main takeaways from this deep dive?
Okay, key points. The global market in 2025 is significant, over USD 14 billion. It's set for strong growth, hitting nearly USD 23 billion by 2033. That's a 6% CAGR.
Driven by sustainability, aerospace, infrastructure, automotive.
Exactly. And the Asia-Pacific region is growing the fastest. Product-wise, epoxy dominates now, but polyurethane is the fastest-growing category.
And for end use.
Building and construction is the biggest market today, but wind energy is the segment expanding most rapidly.
That's a great summary. It really is fascinating stuff, the science of sticking things together and how vital it is. So, as you, our listener, think about all this, consider the ripple effects. What kind of future innovations in materials might this drive? How will better adhesives continue to change manufacturing? Transportation.
Right. And how will that sustainability push keep shaping adhesive development? Could there be other, maybe unexpected areas where these advanced bonding technologies might make a difference down the line?
Lots to think about. And if a specific region or application we discussed caught your interest,
Yeah, definitely encourage you to explore further. The full report has a ton more detail just waiting to be uncovered.